Right Buddy here from Back Road Buddies of Red Tail Lodge, and today we're going to share a video with you from Great Sand Dunes National Park. We spent 3 nights in Pinyon Flats Campground inside the park, and that was just wonderful because we could have a nice view of the dunes right from our campsite. Now we came from Mesa Verde National Park, so we headed into or towards Great Sand Dunes National Park from the west, which was really a nice way to approach it because we could start to see the dunes about 50 miles out. So it was kind of neat as we got closer. You can kind of see the dunes come into view because they're just so huge, the dune field is. And so the first night we were there, actually a great big thunderstorm rolled through and dumped a lot of water on us, so we spent most of that first evening inside the van. But it was all right because we had a good view of the dunes even from there, even in the rain, so that was not so bad. And what really made it really special was the next day, the first full day we were there, we hiked into the dune field and up to High Dune, which actually isn't the highest dune in the dune field, but it looks like it from when you're outside of the dune field. But anyway, spent about 4 hours hiking the dunes, and what was nice about the heavy rains the night before was that the sand was totally soaked, and so it was hard packed, and so it was really easy to walk on because normally it's not. You normally kind of sink into the sand and you feel like you're really struggling. So it really made hiking in it very easy. And then the second benefit of it being soaked was as the sun came out and it started to dry out, the ridges of the dunes started drying out first and became a lighter color, so they outlined the dunes and it really made a surreal landscape. So that was really a neat experience and fun to be there at that time. And so we did that the first full day, hiking the dune field. And when we came out of the dune field, we kind of wandered around, and where we came out was actually where Medano Creek basically disappears. And what I mean by that is the creek flows along the edge of the dune field, and depending on what time of year it is, depends on how far it flows, because it just eventually gets absorbed into the sand and just ends. So that's kind of neat to see. That's kind of a different concept that we don't normally think about, but yeah, it just disappears into the sand, so that was kind of cool. Then the second full day we were there, we actually took a hike right from the campground. There's a trail that actually goes up to a dune overlook, and then you can continue on over to what's called the sand pit, which is an area that you either have to hike out to or take a 4-wheel drive road out to. It's right on the edge of the dune field, but the edge of the dunes right there is pretty steep, so that was kind of neat. And the creek is flowing right there as well. So we hiked out to there and then hiked back some of the trails a little bit in the woods. So it was a little different than being out on the dunes all day. So that was a lot of fun as well. And then, the next morning we could just sit back and relax and stare at the dune fields while we took our time and had breakfast before we left. So we just had a really wonderful experience there. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Great Sand Dunes National Park.
Thanks for watching, and if you want more details of our stay there at the sand dunes, check out the link below in the description to our related blog post. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We'd really appreciate that. Ta-ta for now.